The House of the Dead. Love that video game. Don't think this movie has anything to do with it. Yes, we've got the House of the Dead here from Vinegar Syndrome, and no, we're not talking about the House of the Dead Uwe Boll movie here, or the House of the Dead video game series. No, this is a film from 1978, well before that video game ever was released. Was this the basis for that video game? Probably not, but, you know, it's the House of the Dead. That sounds cool, right? Yeah, so we got the Vinegar Syndrome release here. We're going to open up, see what's going on inside. So, if I can get through this stuff. Alright, get that stuff out of here. Let's do a comparison. Yeah, you know, with Vinegar Syndrome, what's the comparison? Slipcover, regular cover. So, unlike a lot of Vinegar Syndrome releases, the custom slipcover here is similar. It's often not, but some of their early releases are similar, and this is VS 236. So, we do get that picture, but instead of the House of the Dead on the bottom, it runs down the side here. This picture is awesome. Now, I don't know that I've actually seen this movie before, but I'm almost positive I've seen this image somewhere. So, have I seen this movie before? I don't know. I can't remember. But I love Vinegar Syndrome. Does some great slipcovers. So, I don't know if I'm going to see if I can get it in the light here. Is it picking up? So the House of the Dead title plus all these little blood things are all glossy. They're all glossy. They kind of seem like they're embossed because of the glossiness, but the glossiness is just another layer of ink being put down, so that gives it the kind of embossedness. But the cover is embossed, so all this skull, like this is further down in this portion here, so it's all raised and all that kind of stuff. It's funny, all the windows in the houses are pushed back. Yeah, it just gives a lot of awesome texture. When we go to the side of the spine here, the House of the Dead and the logo, all embossed, so they're raised up. And then when we compare the back, we got slipcover here, regular cover here, and you can see one obvious thing. Now they've, for the most part, kept it the same. Now, obviously, there's more room on the slipcover because it doesn't have to deal with the Blu-ray case. So they've kind of pushed everything up, right? So, as a result, they had extra room. And you put an extra, so they have 4 images here rather than the 3 images on the regular thing. The other thing they did was, you'll notice that the director information is all down here rather than underneath the special features, which, why not? Let's go over those right now. It's a newly scanned and restored in 2K from the 35mm camera negative. Audio interview with director Sharon Miller. Audio interview with screenwriter David O'Malley. It's got the limited edition artwork by Earl Kessler Jr. Available. It doesn't say how much. I think it was like maybe 1,000, maybe more. I don't know. But only in the first release. After that, I guess you couldn't get it. It's got, we'll find out, but apparently it has reversed cover artwork, and it's got English SDH subtitles. So, yeah. It's essentially completely matte. Often they do the stills from the film are in glossy, but they haven't done that. The only place is glossy and it's also embossed here is the title of the film. A little different, not what they do all the time, but you gotta mix it up. Oh, it's got one of those anti-theft stickers. I didn't even notice that. So give me a second here. Gotta go grab yourself a little drink and a snack while I get this off, and then we can continue on with what's happening here. And that's finding out what's going on inside. Alright. There. So we open it up and we get... Ooh. Okay, so... Interesting. So... Okay. This is a Vinegar Syndrome thing that they do. We got DVD on this side, Blu-ray on this side. Now the Blu-ray says The House of the Dead. It's got the blue strip here with Vinegar Syndrome and the Blu-ray logo. This is Alien Zone, and you only know that it's a DVD by this black strip, which is really kind of hidden here. That says Vinegar Syndrome and DVD. Now, I get it. Alternate title of the film, I'm guessing, so why not put it both? I don't know. I get it. I get it, but sometimes I'm like, if I took these out of the case and I didn't remember things, and I found, say, this Alien Zone DVD, and I couldn't remember that it was called The House of the Dead, I would probably have to go through a whole bunch of my Vinegar Syndrome releases until I found the one that was like, oh, that's where the disc didn't get put back. And trust me, when you have kids or other people that you live with, not having discs put back is a problem. It just is. So, that is something to note. I don't know how much of a fan I am of it, but it is what it is. Blu-ray is pressed, which you kind of figured, because it's Vinegar Syndrome, which means the DVD is going to be pressed. And then, yes, here is your regular Vinegar Syndrome case with that reversible artwork with the alternate cover of Alien Zone. So, I'm guessing I've never seen that image of the House of the Dead, but it looks like I've seen the House of the Dead. I don't know. So, I guess it was called Alien Zone or something like that. Originally released as Alien Zone. I don't know. It's one of those things where you gotta look into it and find out the history, but yeah, so that would be the House of the Dead cover. That is Alien Zone cover. So what... It says that this is with artwork by Earl Kessler Jr. Maybe it's not new artwork. Maybe it's just because I guess it was the House of the Dead as well. I don't know. I don't know anything about this movie, I guess. Maybe everything I'm spewing is completely gibberish. I don't know. But yeah, so when you look at the back, you can see obviously says Alien Zone there instead of the House of the Dead. And you can see that, they've gone with this interesting gradient. So the gradient's kind of on this Alien Zone thing of blue to red, right? So they continued that through. So yeah, I don't know. That's interesting. Again, the spine here says Alien Zone, so you have that. The images are the same, and actually everything is the exact same for this one. On both sides, it's just, yeah, I mean, the layout and everything. So they've just changed the coloring of here to match. Oddly enough, the words on it are the same. So Alien Zone reads, "4 tales of intrigue and horror await anyone brave enough to enter the House of the Dead." And the House of the Dead is in capital letters like the title, instead of enter the Alien Zone, which you would think that would be the change, right? Just something to know. It's not that it's a big deal. It's just interesting. One of those things that I find, as somebody who has to put copy together and such like that, it's one of those things that you often catch yourself, especially when we got to do stuff like translations and such. Some things get translated, some things don't, because they just don't, they're, the proper names, and they just don't get translated. And you pick things like that up, and it's, where you may have left something in English or something as a proper name when it should have been translated, because it did have a French name. But yeah, whatever. It's just one of those things that I notice. Interesting, eh? So that is the House of the Dead, aka Alien Zone, from Vinegar Syndrome. Unbox, you know what's going on inside. Comment down below if you know anything about this film or anything in general. Keep it spoiler free, but something about that history. Why is it Alien Zone? Why is it the House of the Dead? I don't know. I'd have to dive into this particular release, wouldn't I? And I haven't yet because I just opened it. So, anyways, love to hear from you. Thanks for watching. Till next video, take care. Have a good one.